It is Sunday, and I went to church. Got home about 10 after 12. My mom flew in from Florida. She'll be here for the summer. She's staying with my uncle for a few weeks, and then she'll be staying with me. I'm on my way there now, and I cooked some sausage and peppers for Nye to have for dinner, and I brought a card game that we like to play in case she wants to play. So I'll probably be here for a few hours. I still need to get gas and probably run this car through a car wash. And I wanted to get flowers for my place, but I don't have to do that today. But I'm just about there, so I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will check in later.
Welcome back to the channel. It has been, I don't know, I probably should have looked. I want to say at least a week and a half. Um, so I guess we'll get right to it. I ended a 4-year relationship, and it was it was inevitable. I had we had broken up a few times before and gotten back together, and sometimes you need to really step back and evaluate things. I don't think anybody in a relationship, especially one that's gone on for a few years or longer, takes it lightly. Um, it's as serious to break up as it is to get together, I think, with somebody. And I will say that we genuinely cared for one another. That's what made this very difficult, and that's what made the other breakups difficult to stay away. Um, there's, I don't want to say there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, it's probably about as simple as it is complicated. We are we were very different people. We are very different people. Um, I guess I'll start by saying that sometimes love just isn't enough. Um, I'm religious, and before I met this person, I I'd been married before. I was in a 10-year relationship after that, but I don't think that I was ever really loved by somebody, like really loved by somebody. Um, and so I was very broken before I met this person. And I think because I was hurt and I wanted to really feel like what it was like to really have somebody love you. There's so many romantic relationships that you see, in the movies and on TV and people that you know in your own life. And it's like, God, that would be amazing to feel that way or have someone feel that way about you as well. And so when I met this person, we were instantly attracted and we got along very well. And we were literally inseparable. And by that, I mean, we did not go one single day without seeing each other for about 9 or 10 months when we first got together. I will start out also by saying that I have never been a pet person. And you can hate me for that, or you cannot hate me for that, whatever you choose. I don't necessarily think it's a choice in a way. Some things you like and some things you don't like. I didn't grow up with pets, so I was never exposed to them, never exposed to the bond, the friendship, the love that somebody has for a pet. So I guess from a perspective, I just don't have that understanding. And So when I started dating this person, he had one dog. Now he has two. It was very difficult for me to acclimate to the pet hair, the slobber. To me, it was like living in a barn. You can say that that's ridiculous, but again, everybody has pets these days, and not everybody lives the same way. Some people are super clean, some people are not super clean. I am I'm definitely not OCD. I mean, I, I don't know. I'm not, I've had a couple of boxes sitting in my bedroom that I haven't put away in a month. Just some stuff that I was kind of packing up and moving around. And so if I was OCD, I don't think I'd be able to keep that there. I can let dust build up to a degree. And so, I'm not OCD, but I do like to live a certain way. And when you're with someone who doesn't live to the same standards as you can be forgiving to a degree, but it will start to eat at you, especially as the years go on. And when you couple that with someone who doesn't want to go out and do anything ever, it literally was one of the biggest contentions between us. I was able to get him to go out here and there, but anytime we went anywhere, the dogs had to go too. You couldn't go for a car ride without the dogs. For somebody, again, who's not used to pets, that's a lot to deal with. And so it's been very, very difficult for me. And I will say that I do believe he put a lot of effort into trying to make me comfortable and trying to vacuum and doing what he could do, But in the end, things were just starting to really get on my nerves. And, he's the only person that I've ever been with that I've literally never had an argument with, ever. I think we had a mutual respect that it was, if either we agreed on a lot of stuff, and when we didn't, it was, we respected the other person's opinion to disagree. And so, that was amazing. That's also hard to walk away from. But we talked about our future. We talked about moving in together. We talked about, do we want the same things out of life? And we really don't. My whole thought was, when you meet somebody, you eventually move in together, and you go through life together. You have each other's back. You help each other in any way you can. And I wasn't really feeling that that's how it was going. And even though he would have been okay for me to move in, he also said, I don't think you're going to be happy here. And he's right, because of the pets and because of there wouldn't have been the changes that I would have needed to have happen. I don't think he was prepared to make those changes. So we had to make a hard decision, and it was either walk away or accept our relationship for what it is and just keep on keeping on. Now, with that said, he lives an hour away. I'd have to drive out to him and then drive back for the weekends. It burns you out. Especially when there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to continue to date someone indefinitely. It's not what I'm looking for in life. He, I think, planned his life to not have anybody in it. And so when I came into it, it was different than what he had planned for himself. And even though he was willing to kind of make some changes. Um, I just think I think he almost felt like he couldn't trust anybody but himself. And I don't know. I'm I'm presuming, but I can't speak for him. So all I can say is that as the years went on, I knew that what we had was just not going to be enough for me, and I knew it was going to be tough to end it once and for all. Um, and many times I thought there's got to be a way to fix this. There's got to be a way to fix this, but there just wasn't. So then it also had me thinking about people who are together and those who have a partner, and you know the people that are single, that choose to be single. Like, when you think about having someone in your life, I just started to think that it's maybe better to have friends and not have a partner, because yeah, there's pros and cons to both. But you know when I think about preparing my life for only me, just have enough friends to do something with. If I wanted to take a ride up north and you know visit whatever, call a friend. Do you want to go? I mean, if you have a lot of friends, one of them may want to go. But on the flip side to that, if you have a partner and you wanted to go and they didn't want to go, then you don't go, right? Unless you go by yourself. So at least you have more possibilities to go with someone. It's just like, for example, my mother wanted to travel to Italy and to Ireland, and my stepfather didn't want to travel outside the country. So what was she going to do? Not ever go? Typically, that's what happens to people. Thankfully, she had siblings and she was able to go with her sisters. But some people don't have that option. I don't have any sisters. I want to travel a little bit. And if my partner doesn't want to go, then I'm never going to go. So there's things like that you have to think about. Another pro, you don't have to compromise on things. You want to watch a TV show, you want to do something on a Sunday, you don't want to do something on a Sunday, like, it's up to you and only you. And that's a benefit. Pro for me, I don't have to live with animals. I can be as clean as I want to be, and I don't have to worry about cleaning up after an animal. If I want to go away for the weekend, I don't have to worry about boarding an animal. I think about that in future, like dating. Like, okay, everybody on the dating apps like has a picture with them and their pets. Well, what are you going to do? Board the pet? Like, why does everybody want these responsibilities these days? Like, don't you just want to be able to get in the car and go? I just feel like once my kids were grown, that's my responsibility's done. Like, I want to be able to live for me now. And again, I had children early. I mean, I gave birth at 18 years old. So I've had kids and I've never really been able to go and do anything. So this is my time now for me. And the other con, I think, too, with being with somebody is, you prepare a life with somebody. You split a household financially. It gives you more money in your pocket to do things because you are splitting the bills in half and so forth. But then, and you build a life with them and you make plans for retirement. And then what happens when they die? Now, if they don't have a pension, let's say you're not married, do you even get their Social Security? But if you're at least married, you can either choose your own Social Security or theirs, whichever is higher. But now the plans that you had are gone. Now you've got to question whether you can even survive on your own. Now you live maybe in a house that you can't afford on your own. Hopefully you were part of the bill paying and you know what needs to be paid and how much everything is. Sometimes when your other half takes care of that and then they pass away and now you don't know what to do. That happens a lot. I think that that's a generational thing, and I think that that's starting to phase out. But I don't know. I definitely remember what it was like to feel very lonely. And it was a very, very sad feeling. And I do think if you have enough friends to do things with, that's a good option. I do know, too, that it will probably eat away at me once I've been single long enough to probably crave that relationship again. I don't know what to do at this point. I was very upset when it all happened. Obviously, I don't have regrets about ending it. I do think it was probably the best thing. I also think that, we agreed that this was the ending of being a couple, but it wasn't the ending of our friendship. So there's no finality to it in the sense of we're never going to see each other again. And a lot of times that's the most crushing part. At some point, if one of us meets someone else and has a relationship, then that friendship may fade. I expect that it will. But right now, I think what I wanted to focus on the most was enjoying my summer. Every summer so far, I have felt like I just went to his house and sat on the couch for the whole weekend, and occasionally we would do something, but most of the time we didn't. And he would put her in the garage and I would be on my laptop, or that was eating away at me. And I didn't want another summer of that. Now, my mother does come home for the summers because she lives in Florida during the winter, and she actually just flew in today, and I spent the day with her and some of my relatives, her siblings, my aunts and uncles. We had a good time sitting around the table and talking, and that was awesome. And I do feel like, as she's getting older, I want to spend more and more time with her. And we booked a weekend getaway up in Lake George, just her and I, for 4th of July weekend. I'm looking forward to that. I know she wanted to go camping, so it's going to be just her and I doing that. And I really just want to enjoy the summer, go to some concerts in the park, hang out with some of my friends, hang out with my mother, and I feel like I need to live life. I feel like I haven't been doing that the last 4 years. I feel like I've missed out. Would I have done it all again? I would have, absolutely. I started out by saying that I wanted nothing more than to find someone that I really loved and then I felt really loved me, and I begged God for that. I prayed and prayed and prayed for that, and I feel like I got that. And that's why that was hard to let go, because it was exactly what I asked for. But it came with conditions. And that's why I don't think that love is enough sometimes. Not when you're sacrificing everything else, when you're sacrificing the whole rest of your life. So I needed to take this time since the last videos that I posted to, decide that this was what I wanted to do. And then, I needed to take the time to think about it and figure out how I wanted to talk about it. And I don't have any problem talking about my personal life, obviously, on YouTube, because we all go through things. Whether you share them or not, everybody experiences the same things to a certain degree. So I don't mind sharing that, so anybody else that's maybe going through it or will go through it understands that it's normal and relatable. And But I just wanted to come on and share that's what happened. And I do expect to see him and hang out with him for like the day, but not right away because it would be too difficult, I think, to do that without being emotional or feeling like you just want to get back together again, because I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that we probably are better off as friends, and you're gonna I'm gonna miss a lot of some of the things that we used to do, and I'm not gonna share those personal things, but just kind of the close bond and the rituals that we had. But I will obviously miss those. But I just feel like life is all about. I mean, your life is like a book, and so you go through different chapters of your life. I mean, that may sound cliche, but that's what happens, and you can only hope to learn from those chapters and those things. And some things I think we are glad we handled a certain way, and other times we wish we had handled them better. And you do the best you can, and you hope you make the right decisions. And at the end of your life, you hope you have no regrets. Nobody's perfect, and so we do mess up. But I don't know how I feel right now, and it's early, I know, with whether or not I feel like I need to have somebody in my life. I definitely feel like right now I don't. I do worry that, like, when my parents pass away, that I'm not going to have a solid person in my life to lean on. But that's where I'm hoping all I'll need is God at that point. If I can stay strong in my faith and rely on that as my main source of support, then I should be able to get through anything. That's my hope at this point. Again, I'm open to finding someone at some point. And relationships hurt. There's ups and downs, and I think that's part of the human experience. You should have ups and downs. Your downs make you appreciate the ups. So I don't wish any of that away. So I'm not afraid to get into a relationship again. But I do feel like I want a little bit of just independent freedom right now. And in thinking that, I also need to make sure that I am planning my life as though I am going to be solo forever. Because even if I meet someone, maybe they die on me, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I just like to prepare for the worst, I guess. And it's important to make sure that you are safe and protected. If anybody's going to take care of you, it's you. I try not to say a lot. When I watch these videos back, I'm like, wow, that's so excessive. I don't know. I guess that's really all I have to say about all of it. I am looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to living it to its fullest and taking advantage of being single. And then I guess we will just have to see what unfolds. I feel like the Lord will just give me what I need, and He will not give me what I don't need. With that said, I guess I will end things here. And I'm going to spick. I'm going to pick specific topics going forward to talk about, but I'm going to be leaning more on life experiences. Start talking about some personal, I guess, experiences, life things. Just why not talk about what you know? And I think it would be very relatable to a lot of people. So I guess I'll just get that content pulled together, and we will, I guess, see you on the next one. Just remember, every chapter teaches you something.